contact could be so powerful. She had the soft swirl of tears in her eyes, and a drop that trickled down her cheek from time to time. At some point, I lost track of how many tears were shed that day and night at the Common Ground retreat. All I could think about was what I had done wrong in that moment and throughout the rest of my life and what I could do to fix it. I wasn't the perpetrator, nor was I the victim. I wasn't her rapist. Nor did I know this girl sitting in front of me. I felt both guilty and victimized. Little did I know that moment would actually change the trajectory of my Duke experience entirely. Grades weren't as important. My electives changed. I decided not to be in a fraternity. I advocated for a gender that was different than my own. And I actively changed who I was. Still changing. But I took this step toward the unknown. And at first, I was reluctant. I didn't mean it when I said I raped the test, dude. I was just joking. And look, I'm a good guy, okay? I would never do that to a girl. This is harmless flirting, all right? Leave it alone. We're having a good time. But I listened. And I started to care. Because my life wasn't just my own existence anymore. It involved hers. It affected hers. And when she told me how she felt hollow, this empty corpse of this vibrant person that she used to be, after she was raped, I felt hollow. Even though I had no part in it. And I burdened her dark secret like this black hole of silence, and the only thing that was left was the pain that was in her eyes. And suddenly, I was privy to something that only I and a handful of other people knew. This was a different kind of male privilege. A lot of us actually know the statistic. 1/4 of all the women on campus have been sexually assaulted. When I saw her, I saw raw emotion, not a number. There are no words that can describe the feeling that I had while I watched her cry and sputter out this story. Because it wasn't guilt at having made fun of her. And it wasn't anger at her rapist. But frustration and helplessness just can't do this justice. All I could do was promise her that I would do something. And I thought that I had the whole world behind me. Because who argues for rape? No one does. No one told me all the tension that I would face when I got back to Duke. And I tried to share my experience with my friends and people that I really wanted to explain what I felt. I got back to my social circle, and suddenly I got questions like, dude, why are you so sensitive to rape jokes all of a sudden? You think you're better than me? You're working at the Women's Center now? Are you gay? I didn't know what to do. These were my friends, people that I had built relationships with much longer than any weekend retreat. I wanted to share my experience with them because they were supposed to have my back. And suddenly, they were the ones that weren't listening and just kept poking fun. And from her, I felt like I had to do more. Because every insensitive comment made me feel so guilty. Every single objectifying thing said about any woman I ever heard was about her. It's just another invalidating remark against her. I fell into a trap. Stop trying to save me! I didn't ask you for your help, so don't dictate my experiences as a woman, okay? Suddenly, I was aware of all of the shades between benevolent sexism and real gender equality. I thought I had been doing the right thing, but I was never empowering her. All I was doing was playing the classic role, saving the damsel in distress. And I was more aware of my privilege than I had ever been before because I realized that I have an option that she doesn't. To opt out. At any time, I can detach myself. She can't. You know, I've had to deconstruct a lot of what I've been taught over the years, and I'm trying to figure out who I actually am. Meanwhile, I'm trying to reconcile what I think is right versus what's actually the right thing to do. And that is by far the hardest thing I've ever had to do. You know, I like to admit when I'm wrong, and as a guy trying to understand issues of gender, I'm wrong a lot. But when people ask me why I care, I hesitate for a second. Why do I care? You know, automatically I have this list of prepared reasons in my head. I care because I care about issues of equality. I care because I've been oppressed. I care because if I have a daughter, I want to be sure she's not limited by her gender. I don't really know why I care. Sometimes it's by chance. You know, by chance I saw a Common Ground flyer and I decided to go. And by chance she opened up to me and I listened. You know, I don't think people know why they do what they do, but only to be compelled. For the grades, for the friends, for the girl, for the hurt, for the oppressed, for her, maybe for me.